Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. And welcome everybody. Hello and happy Friday. My name is Eric, and welcome to Grange Hall Games. And we are doing a fun little something different tonight, where we are doing a little interactive Tales of Fun, choose your own adventure style game. And to interact and play along, what we're going to be doing is, enjoying a little story action. You're going to help me choose that adventure in the chat section. That's where you can call out, chat out, and let us know which way we're going to go within our stories. So let us begin. We got a couple of fun little adventures. We're going to see where they take us. We'll walk down the path. If we need to go back, walk it again a little bit, we'll try again. We'll see. This is going to be a fun little adventure as our interactive Tales of Fun Choose Your Adventure story time. Let us begin, my friends, with our first little adventure. Again, thanks everybody for joining. If you are spending part of your Friday night with us, well, happy little game adventure night. And we're going to start off with our first adventure you're coming your way. And first story where I like this. This is going to be Wagons Ho. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, this a little Oregon Trail style adventure. Wagons Ho, choose your own adventures. Let's begin. Let's check it out. Okay, so what we've got, choose your own adventure. Thank you to Gary Friends and Smashwords. Appreciate that. Wagons Ho by Gary Friends. Choose your own adventure. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to set the scene, beginning with the beginning. You wake up early and try to get out of bed without waking up your other siblings. You go to the window and check out the weather. Weak sunlight rises over the ocean. Even 3 blocks away, you can still hear the waves crashing against the shore down by the docks. The blacksmith fires are already lit in the shop across the street. Horses pull their carts, making morning deliveries. As you come down the stairs, you hear your parents talking in a low voice. You stop by the door to the kitchen and can make out the words Oregon and leaving. This is shocking news to you. Some of your friends have already moved west on the Oregon Trail, and they never write. No, it's no, they don't. It's like they've disappeared. Your family doesn't even travel that much. With so many children, it's hard to go further than your street. Money, well, it's always worried over and kept locked in a little tin box above the mantle. Besides, you like living here in Boston, Massachusetts. Wicked nice city, bud. At least you have the oceans to play beside. All of your friends are here, and it's close to your parents, but you've heard stories of the trail. You like looking at the pictures of those strange places and animals in your teacher's guidebook. The stories he reads in class are thrilling and sound like a good adventure. All of the children beg him not to stop when the class is over, even when the little one, who sits up front. Well, your parents continue talking quietly in the kitchen. Now they're discussing what they can sell to help raise the $1,000 needed for such a move. When they talk about selling your horse, you can't stand it anymore. You have to act. All right, so, well, things are getting serious. The horse is on the line. Which way are we going to go? All right, so let's check it out. Do you tell your parents that moving west is a great idea? Or do you rush in and beg your parents to stay? What do we do? That is the question. Which way are we going to go? Well, for this one, I think, we're on an adventure. We're adventurous sort. Let's go ahead. We're going to see, is it a good idea? Do you tell your parents moving west is a great idea? Yes, you rush in with a great big smile on your face. You tell your parents that moving west sounds like great fun and ask them when you will start. Your Parents laugh and say they're happy that you're pleased. The family's been struggling with their printing business, and money's getting tight. Pa's shop is one of 7 in Boston, and most definitely the smallest. He does typeset those articles about boring things such as ship arrival times and recent costs of stamps. Not many people buy his paper, you should know, since you've been out with him trying to sell copies in the town square. If you had only a shop in town, he would get more important news stories and be able to sell more papers. Well, this move is a chance to find more opportunities out west, maybe stake a claim to some land, farm it, or set up a printing business in a small town. You wonder if you'll be able to have your own room. Ooh. Are you going to get your own room? You'll find out. As we continue on our story, you begin to think of opportunities there for yourself as well. In a small town, there won't be much competition for teaching jobs or apprenticeships. To be an apprentice, you could definitely have your pick of positions when you come of age. Sounds like a good opportunity. Let's check it out. Where does the story go? So you got a couple options. Do your parents tell you they're just moving out loud, or just thinking out loud and you aren't really moving? Or do your parents tell you that you'll join the wagon train in April? That's a good question. Where's it going to go? I think we're heading to April, my friends. Yes. All right. Do your parents, do they tell you that you'll join the wagon train in April since money is low? April is a month away. There's much to do. And your father has to sell all his printing equipment from his failing work in order to buy all the materials and supplies to make it west. These items are expensive for your family. The guidebook suggests collecting at least $1,000. Since your pa only makes about $100 a year, that's a lot of money. You're pleased with the new $100 wagon and its crisp bonnet, just like your sister wears. Your pa explains that it's called a prairie schooner because it will sail across the prairie grasses like a boat on the ocean. Prairie schooner. When the $60 pair of oxen arrive, they are big lumbering creatures that your pa tells you need. And to pull the heavy wagon, you name them Pull and Tug, as you would. Yeah, that's a good idea. Pull and tug. He tells you that these animals won't be likely to run off like a horse or even interest thieves because they're slow. And your father comes home with a cow the next day. You aren't sure that you'll need one of those. It's for milk we'll need on the trail, he explains. Your baby sister will enjoy that. And your pa thinks likes that milk in the daily coffee. You still have a lot of things you need before you head on that trip. Do you help your father gather more supplies, or do you help your mother pack up the house? Which one are we going to do? Let us know in the chat. Are we going to go help gather the supplies? Or are we going to go help pack up the house? Which way do you think? That's a good question. Again, thanks everybody. This is our first little interactive tale of fun. And you tell us and you help us guide this story. Which way are we going to go? We shall see. And looks like we got... Nice. Tracy, how you doing? Good to see you. Looks like we are going to go help gather some more supplies. Loving that. All right, let's check it out. So we're gathering more supplies with Dad. And you go with your father to the local mercantile, a shop that sells lots of different goods. You buy some pots and pans, a brand new rifle for hunting on the trail. Next, you head to the apothecary for medicines. Who doesn't like a good apothecary? Yeah, you're going to go there for the medicines that you're going to need, including the anti-venom snake bites. Your eyes grow round as he hands you a small glass bottle. The guidebook suggests that you bring 200 pounds of flour. All right, jot this down. 200 pounds of flour, 150 pounds of bacon, 10 pounds of coffee, 20 pounds of sugar, and 10 pounds of salt. You can't carry all this home. You make arrangements to stop by on your way out of town to pick it all up. You marvel on your way as your own, marvel over your very own tin cup and twirl it on your finger on the way home. All right, we got that tin cup, twirling it. Can't believe all the materials you got. You bought, and you wonder if it'll all fit inside that wagon. That's a good question. You ask Pa where everything is going to sit in the wagon. He tells you that you aren't going to be riding in the wagon. The whole family will be walking beside it instead. All 2,000 miles. Are you kidding me? Yeah, you start doing some math in your head and you think you could walk a mile in about 15 minutes. That means it is going to take you more than 500 hours to get to Oregon. Well, that's a long time. Are you surprised to hear you'll be walking the entire way? Are you surprised? Or do you ensure, Pa, that you are big and strong and you can walk the distance? All right, are you big and strong? Or are you surprised to hear that you're going to be walking the entire way? That's a good question. Which one is it? Again, our choose your adventure. Help us choose the adventure. That is a long walk. Sounds like we're a little bit surprised on that. That is a very long walk indeed. So there we go. We are very surprised. And oh, Tracy, well, this is the path we chose. Let's go to it. You whine and complain to your father that it is too far. You couldn't possibly walk all that way. Your father stops in his tracks and gives you one of his looks. He tells you, as the oldest, he expects you to be strong for the family and show your younger siblings how to behave so that your family succeeds together. You feel ashamed and mumble, "Yes, sir." The two of you walk home in silence. Ooh, that's tough right there. Well, if you're enjoying it, it is Friday night. Thanks for joining us for story time. We're going to keep going, and cheers to you if you are joining us as well. Yeah, you feel a little yes sir moment, a little scolding from your dad. So, well, I'd be shocked as well. Yeah, that is a long walk. And I agree. I'd be shocked on that one too. Well, humbling experience. Let's keep going and continue on our adventure. At this point, we're going to go help Mother with the rest of the packing. All right. Mother, she is very thankful to have our extra help. Tracy going to be riding on the ox there, loving it. Your mother's very thankful for the extra help. She has to make several decisions about what to bring and what to leave behind. She has been given brooms and chairs away to the neighbors all day. She asks you to pack up all the beds and linens and quilts. It might get cold along the way. She says to tell your brothers and sisters they may bring 2 toys or 2 books. It is their choice. Here is our choice. Do you decide to bring toys like your younger siblings, or do you decide to bring books instead? Which one is it? Okay, are we going to be deciding to bring the toys, or are we going to be bringing the books? Choose wisely. Our choose your own adventure. Which one are we going to do? Are we going to take some toys? We're going to take some books. You help us decide. Friday night, interactive tales of fun. Let's see which way we're going to be going. Again, happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. This is our first little adventure tale. And we shall see. I think what we're going to do on this one, we're going to bring some books because we're having fun with our tales today. So we continue on. You gather up your bros and sisters, tell them their choices. You watch as they race around, picking up toys and putting them down again. Your sisters try hard to decide which doll to bring. One sister suggests you bring the family's favorite books to read aloud. The 3 volumes of Oliver Twist and 2 for Little Women. You agree those are fine choices, but you add to the stack some ideas of your own. You find Wild Plants of North America and the family's Bible. Yeah, so you got a good little mix of reading material. Well chosen, friends. Now, our choice next up. Do you tell your parents you're all packed? Or do you lay down and take a nap? Yeah, Tracy liking the books there. Now, is it going to be nap time? Or are we all packed? That is the question. So, nap time, or are we all packed? That is going to be the question of the day. Let us know which one you think. That's a good question. I mean, it's Friday, it's a long trip. Do we need a little nap before we go? Or are we going to be all packed, ready to rock it, ready to go? Let's check it out. Curious. Nap times are fun. I like this little Oregon Trail adventure that we're doing to start off. This is our first little interactive tale of fun. Let us know in the chat what you're thinking. Are you thinking nap time, or are we all packed? That is the choice at hand for this, our Friday night game night, Friday night interactive tales of fun. And I think we are all packed. So let us go. And here we go. You find your parents are pleased with your choices, and they make sure that everything fits neatly inside the wagon. And with that, you are sad to say goodbye to your grandparents, knowing that this might be the last time that you see them. The journey west is long for you to travel back and forth for either of you. No, that's not going to happen. They wish you luck and remind you to write. And these are our next choices, my friends. Is it going to be, do you promise to write a letter once you arrive, or do you plan to keep a journal and send them a copy once you arrive? And that is the question. Letter or journal? Letter or journal? Which one will it be? And again, this is going to be keeping up with your grandparents on that long journey. Are you going to try to promise to write a letter once you arrive, or do you plan to keep a journal and send them that copy once you arrive? Now, I don't know. That's a good question. Is it going to be letter or journal? The letter's awfully nice because, you can get that right out. That should send quick. The journal could be lost, and I don't know. I kind of want to keep that journal. We might have some good writings in there after such an adventure. Letter or journal? I don't know. I'm feeling letter on this one. I love my grandparents, but I'm going to keep onto that journal. That's going to be worth some money someday. Trust me. We're going to take the letter. You promise to write your letter. You give your grandparents a hug, and you promise, and they provide you with a small packet of paper to write on. They tell you this is very precious since paper costs so much. You thank them and stow them. You thank them and stow it in your valise on the wagon. You are ready to go. That's right. How are you making a copy? Oh, that's a good question. No copies of that journal. That's a one of a kind. That's a very, very good point. No photocopying at this time, not during our Oregon Trail adventures. Nay, my friends. Well, it looks like we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and take a look. And here we go. You wave goodbye to the family staying behind and ask your dad where you are headed now. He states Independence, Missouri. This is the jumping point off to the west. The first part of the journey will take a while as you stretch those legs. For the long walk, you see several other friends heading to one room in the school, or to the one-room schoolhouse across the way, while your father is stopping by the mercantile to pick up the rest of your supplies. When he is done and the wagon is loaded, you grab your youngest brother's hand and the family moves out of Boston. The walk is long and dull. You can't believe the real trip hasn't even started yet. Yeah, try to drive across country right there. Once you arrive in Independence, you're surprised at how many other families are headed out that way. You go to the local courthouse, you sign up to join a wagon train. This is a group of families that band together to travel west. You even sign a contract or constitution with tons of rules, and even a court of appeals. Next, you go and meet a leader of its train, called your wagon master. He turns out to be an old friend of your dad's, and you contracted him with this opportunity. You feel safer now that you've heard he's traveled this route before. So you're in good hands, and now we got our next question, next choice. You decide to ride behind the lead wagon, or do you decide to keep your place somewhere in the middle? All right, are we behind the lead wagon? Or someplace in the middle? That is the question. Behind that lead wagon or someplace in the middle. Which one is it? And little Friday night story time, interactive story time. You let us know. Help us choose our adventure. We're going to be going behind the lead wagon, or are we someplace in the middle? Because it's a long journey. Do you want to be right behind that wagon leader, who happens to be a friend of your dad's? So, and it looks like I'd stay behind the lead wagon. If someone breaks down, I'm stuck. That's right. Okay, good call. So it looks like, Tracy, we're staying behind the lead wagon. Lead wagon it is. So let's check it out. We are right behind the lead wagon, and our tale continues. You tell that wagon master you'd like to ride right behind his wagon. He's fine with it, and you take your place among the other wagons. There are 20 wagons in all, and who will help each other out along the trail, offer protection when needed. You hear the master tell your pa that 20 is a manageable number. And manageable number for the long trip. He asks your dad to be his deputy and help check in the families along the way. Your pa's more than happy to help in any way he can. His children are pleased to see that they will have friends to play with on the long journey, and you are happy to have more people to talk to along the way. You count the different types of wagons and see most of them on the prairie schooners like your own. Only 2 of them are Conestoga wagons. Conestoga wagons, which are larger than yours. You ask about them and you find, let us know in the chat, is that Conestoga or Conestoga? Trust in the cones. No, Conestoga wagons. All right, they're larger than your own, and you ask about them, find out that they're stocked with supplies the wagon train might need along the way. You remind yourself they remind you of traveling mercantile. Interesting. Okay. You run back to your family's wagon and ask what the destination is. The wagon master checks his guide and says that you'll need to cross the Kansas River, which is about 100 miles away. It should take you about 10 days to get there. Your family finishes up a quick lunch, and the train is ready to move. The wagon master shouts, "Wagons ho!" Wagons ho it is. You repeat the call, liking the sound of it. Your pa hands you 2-sided flag to wave on the green side so that those behind you can see the train is moving. The adventure begins with a joyous shot from the other wagons as you pull out of Independence. Your first stop that night is on a flat open spot. You can see some storm clouds forming to the west of you. You wave the red side of the flag to signal the stopping point. Your legs feel a little funny, and you're ready to rest. Ma asks the children to gather up some twigs and branches to make a little fire. Your wagons stop in the long line, and you see why they call it a train. It reminds you of the picture you've seen on the newspaper, that newfangled transcontinental railroad with its attached train cars all riding in a line. You think about how much easier it would have been to ride on a fancy train car to Oregon, but then you remember how much it would have cost compared to the $1,000 your family had to gather just for the wagon train. Dinner was fun, getting to eat outdoors, by the fire, drink some of your pa's coffee from his tin cup, and everybody bedded down for the night. The storm blows through late into the night, and everyone has to move underneath the wagons until it is gone. Oh, that darn storm. And when dawn arrives, 2 families are complaining about their horses missing. The storm rolling through. We got horses missing already. Oh, no. Man, that's a first night. So what are we going to do? Are we going to look for the horses? That's the question. So here are our options. Are we going to look for the horses, or do we pack up and start moving again? Oh, that is going to be the question. Or get to moving. We going to look for the horses, or are we going to get to moving? Those are the question, or that is the question. That is going to be the option, the choice, the matter at hand. Which way is it going to be? Appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate you enjoying a little Friday night virtual story time, interactive tales of fun. So, first night, storm blow through. We're in that wagon train, and a couple of horses took off. We're gonna go. We're gonna help them out. They're not our horses. I mean, we got the ox, remember. But are we gonna help them out, or are we gonna get to moving? That is the question, my friends. Let us know which way we should go in this, our interactive tale of fun. Happy Friday, everybody. All right, let's see which way we are gonna go. You know, I think we want to show some camaraderie. It is the first night. That's what I'd be kind of thinking, you know. I'd be inclined to look for the horses, you know, that way if in the future something happens, maybe they'll help me out. I mean, if you just get going, I don't know. Okay, there it is. I think feeling that. We're going to go look for the horses. Let's check it out. The male leaders of the wagons, well, they meet and decide to look for the horses before you begin. Someone offers to use their pearl prism binoculars that they brought with them. After a few minutes searching the area, nothing is spotted. The wagon master explains it's common for horse thieves to follow wagon trains out and steal their horses if they can. He's heard that it would be better to form a circle in the wagons and keep the horses inside the perimeter next time. Everyone agrees this would be a good plan, and you head out for the next leg of your journey, a little saddened tear. But seriously, like, shouldn't that have been something you mentioned before? Like, why didn't you just circle the wagons? Come on, that's circle the wagons. That's why they call it that. Oh, well. Our adventure continues, my friends. Try the circle idea. Yeah, I'm going to try the circle idea. Next night, circle the wagons. There are no horses missing the next day. Rest of your trip to Kansas River passes without an incident. You arrive on the riverbanks to spot you arrive on the banks of the river to spot run by the two Papin brothers. They have 2 ferries that will get your wagons across the 200 yards of swiftly moving water for the fee of $1. $1? Take your hat off, boy. And you lounge on the craft as your brothers pull you across the river 2 wagons at a time. With 4 wagons moving this slowly, you know you have a long wait here at the spot. Suddenly hear a shout and see a small form fall from the ferry into the surging waters beneath. Oh no, do you jump in to help, or do you watch as someone else jumps in? Jump in? That's a good question. Jump in yourself, or are you going to watch someone else? That is going to be our choice for this in our interactive tale of fun. Or do you watch as someone else jumps in? That's the question. Jump in to help yourself, or do you watch as someone else jumps in to help? This is a good question here. I mean, could be a cold river. Current could be to the surging waters beneath. I think we're gonna try it. Without thinking, you dive into the swirling blue mass and use your doggy paddle as you learn the summer in the lake. Oh no, that's a doggy paddle in the raging river. This should be good. You've learned doggy paddle. You learned this summer at the lake to reach the small flailing form. As you reach it, you realize it is your younger brother. You wrap his arms around your neck, and as you turn in the water and head back to the ferry, hands reach down and help you 2 out of the water. Your mother rushes over to quilt to wrap you both in, and once you reach the river bank, she watches you carefully until all the wagons are safely across and you can move on. Whew, good thing you jumped in. That was your little bro. Mama would have been not happy. All right, let's keep going. And with this, you move on to your next stop. We breathe a sigh of relief and move on. The next stop is Fort Kearney in Wyoming, another 119 miles away. Judging by their last trajectory, that's going to be about 12 days. Fun math. And the days are starting to get long and tedious. Younger kids are starting to get bored, and you often have to carry your younger ones on your back. You're surprised to hear the food supplies are getting low, and after all you stuffed your pack, how can they be low? Your pa assures you that you can pick up more at the fort. This is a place where you have the supplies for travelers to purchase. All right, so we got to make it to the fort. And it's a fort. You'll notice that the short, thin horsemen gathering around one building. Their saddles are sure strange to your eyes with little pockets on them. Your pa tells you those are riders for the Pony Express. They're switching horses at the station. Mail is not something that is common in your household, but you are going to write a letter back home. And Pa usually gets his mail at the shop. Your family all lives close by, so they don't write you letters. You think now that you're going to have to use the Pony Express more often if you want to hear from your grandparents. Well, good thing they gave you that paper too, so yeah. Well, that'll be a good way to head out. All right, do you head to the store with Pa for more supplies, or do you go speak to one of the riders? That is the question. Okay, let's go ahead and head for more supplies. Or speak to the riders. That is the matter at hand. Which one are we going to do? Are we going to head for more supplies, or are we going to speak to the riders for this interactive tales of fun? Which way do you choose? Because that's what it's about. You helping us choose the adventure. This Grange Hall Games. My name is Erik. Thank you so much for joining us on this little Friday night. Appreciate everybody stopping in, peeking in to say hi, and helping us out, guide us along with our story. Let us know. We're going to head in for more supplies, or are we going to speak to the riders? Which one is it? Well, for this, I think we're speaking to the riders because, I want to know how my letters are going to get back to my grandparents. Let's check it out. All right, you're interested in this job and want to know more. Your pa says it's right, but you meet him at the store in 20 minutes. Your ma reminds you to be polite. You hurry off and rush to the first person you see. He's about 30, wearing a large white hat and sporting a little beard on his chin. You ask if he'll answer some questions politely, and he says, "Sure, partner." His name is William Cody, and he's been riding the express for about 15 years. He explains that his mochila pouch and why there are padlocks on it. The mail is the most important part of any job and should come first, even before man or horse. He shows you the revolver with some mail and some mail with postmarks as far away as New York City. New York City? That's right. And he shows you the revolver, and you thank him for his time. Thank you so much, Mr. William Cody. We appreciate your time today, too. All right, let's check out. You head back to your pod with more supplies. And the general store, well, that's very busy, and several customers blocking the doorway there. That's not very nice. You push past and find your father gathering some more flour, coffee, and tobacco. You help out picking up some salt and molasses, and you wave at the other members of your wagon train scattered throughout the store. Everybody's picking up their supplies, and everybody's talking about the next stop called Courthouse Rock. Courthouse Rock, also a lesser-known hit by Elvis back in the day. Fun fact. All right, let's keep it going. And here we go. We head back out on the trail again. It's another whopping 200 miles away to Courthouse Rock. And you sigh inwardly knowing that it will take the rest of the month of April and some of May to get there. Yeah, well, right. Yeah, you got to keep the meat pure there. That's a lot of salt. Well, so many things that can get you. It's the Wild West. Well, let's check out the story as we continue. Your shoes are starting to show signs of wear and tear. Your face is starting to become reddened from being out in the sun, and your lips feel chapped. Your younger brother has developed a cough. Oh no! See, and high blood pressure was the worst of it. Your younger brother's developed a cough that's not gone away since the fall in the river. The doctor with your train says he might have picked up something from the chilly water. Your mom and pa, your ma asked pa to pick up some cough medicine from the store. You wonder if you should be worried about getting sick as well. You think about ways to help your other children's minds to help keep them off their brother for the long trip ahead. Maybe some new toys will help fight the boredom of the trail. You aren't sure if there's enough money to buy any left over. Okay, so we got a choice coming up. Do you ask your parents to let you buy some toys for the youngsters, or do you tuck your chin and head out on the trail? Good question. Toys or trail? Because do we want to help out, keep the young kids? Are we going to get them a little something to keep their minds off? Or are we just going to power through? We ain't got time for that. We're going to head on a trail. Which one is it? Let us know. Toys or trail in this, our little adventure. Choose your own adventure. And we are heading out to the next location. The wagon train pulls out from Fort Kearney and continues on its way. The trip is long and boring. Cold beans and bacon are starting to taste rotten in your mouth, and you long for something new. Even coffee has lost its unfamiliar thrill. Wow, even coffee. Oh no. Well, Life goes on and unfamiliar thrill. Well, life goes on until you notice a small speck far off in the distance. You wonder what it is, for it grows a tiny bit bigger with every day on the trail. You finally reach the large outcropping of rock just rising from the ground. You see why people call this thing Courthouse Rock. It looks like a large building with pillars just sitting on top of the land. There's another small rock formation that looks like a tower. It reminds you of castles from the stories you've read. When people tell you this is called Jailhouse, or called Jail Rock to go with the courthouse. Your train does not stop at this local location, but continues on. You spy the next location in the guide as well. It is the largest thing you've ever seen rising into the sky. This one is called Chimney Rock or Elk's Peak. You don't understand the elk reference since it looks more like a chimney back home. The idea that it's almost 300 feet tall is amazing. The question is, my friends, do you ask to climb on the rock for a little, or do you continue to Fort Laramie? Are we going to go rock climb, or are we going to continue on? That's the question. And ask for a little rock climb, or are we going to continue on? That is going to be the question at hand for this interchange at our virtual Storytime interactive tales of fun. And my friends, this is a good story going on. We got time, a little bit more time to read along and play along with us. Let's go ahead. Are we going to climb the rock, or are we going to continue on? Keep on trucking. Ooh, all right. Time to keep on going. All right, keep on trucking, Tracy says. Let's do it. We're going to continue on to Fort Laramie. We're heading to Fort Laramie. After the stop at this location, your train continues on to the west. You are now headed to Fort Laramie. It's only a short 86 miles away to the state of Wyoming, and you should be there before the end of May. The nights are now the worst part of the trip. They are freezing cold, and you wake up stiff from sleeping on the hard grounds. The days are still boiling hot. Your train makes good time, and you're there by May 24th. Not too shabby. You now understand how easy it is for the supplies to go down. You try not to eat so much, but your mother keeps telling you to finish everything on your plate. You follow her directions since you had to bury your brother just the other day. Oh, ouch. The doctor said he had something called dysentery. Yeah, dysentery. I'll get you. It's the Oregon Trail. We knew that was going to rear its ugly head at some point. Well, shout out to the brothers out there. Sorry, Timmy. Let's continue on. The doctor said he caught something called dysentery. He says you were lucky not to have caught the same thing. So we'll take that dose of luck and forge our way ahead. You are glad to see that the fort made of adobe mud clay that is bordered on two sides of the river. You wander the parade grounds for the military troops while your parents buy some more supplies. As they head back to the store, you overhear some men talking about the yellow rock you found in the Black Hills. You wonder if it could be gold. Ooh, yellow rock. I like the sound of that out west. Do you stop close by to hear more, or do you continue on to find your family? That's the question. And we're going to listen on, or listen more, or continue on. That is the question at hand. Great question indeed. Listen more, continue on. They're talking about that yellow rock. Ooh, ears perking up on that. Yeah, my ears were perking up too. I'm a little nosy. I want to find out about this yellow rock. Well, with that, we will go to page 37. You continue past a few more feet. Nice. Here we go. Next page. And you continue past a few more feet and prop yourself against the side of the building. Pretend you aren't listening, being all coy and stuff. The men's tale of the restless Lakota and Cheyenne tribes make your ears burn, and you worry about crossing this area on your trip west. You've heard other travelers discussing past fights with the Native Americans, where even women and children were harmed. You try to put the stories out of your mind since they give you nightmares. Ooh, I wanted to hear the story about the Yellow Rock, Tracy. Why'd you bring us there? Now I'm scared. All right, well, on we go. You race back to your family. Yeah, I'd be racing too. Let's keep going. You hurry past a man inside the store window, pushing down a small lever into a metal platform. You can hear the tiny taps that sound like beeps and scratches. The sign of the window talks about a telegraph. You have no time to wonder what it is. You once again catch up with your family and settle into the routine of counting up supplies. This helps your mother as she tries to corral the rest of the children. And she has bought a primer and plans on teaching the younger ones their letters. Yeah. Ooh, curiosity killed the cat. Yeah, that's true. She brought up the little ones in their letters. They're not interested at all in this idea and continue to play tag instead. You share a look with your dad and head over to help him get in line. As your train pulls out, Pa shows you the bullets that he has purchased at the fort. You discuss how he's becoming a better shot in the trail and wonder if he'll be able to shoot some rabbit or maybe deer along the way. You've heard of an animal called a buffalo, which is supposed to look like a shaggy elephant, but you haven't seen one yet. Ah, yeah. Well, the Oregon Trail, going back to the game, I used to love that game. Yeah, you always had to get a little hunting action in there, see how that hunting is. But you could only carry so much back with you. Well, let's continue on, my friends, because we got a choice coming up. Do you ask your pa to teach you to shoot, or do you help ma with the primer? All right. Shooter or primer? Which one is it? Which one are we going to do? Shooter or primer? We're going to ask Pa to teach us how to shoot, or are we going to help Ma with that primer, to help get things primed up for the trip? That's the question. Happy Friday night, interactive tales of fun, and we've got a little bit more time for this story. Help us choose our path and choose our adventure here. We are on the Oregon Trail, and right now we're figuring out if we want Pa to teach us to shoot, or are we going to go help Ma load up those supplies? That is going to be the question. I mean, now Tracy, remember before we got scared? Maybe we want to help protect ourselves? Or are you going to keep your mind, or take your mind off it by go help Mom? That is the question at hand. Which one are we going to do? Well, personally, I know which way I'm going to go. We'll wait another moment for the replies to come in again to let us know which way we're going to go. Go ahead and reply into the chat section. We'll post up some of those fun ones throughout our adventure, and also I'll use that to help us guide us on our way. And may the fourth be with you. Pew, pew. We're going shooting, boys and girls. All right. Nice. And you ask Pa to help you teach you how to shoot. And Pa looks at you with a raised eyebrow and bursts out laughing. Pew, pew. Oh, really? Okay. He hugs you close and knows that he wasn't making fun of you. He says, well, you're just plumb too young yet. Maybe in another year. He suggests you go help Ma with the other children. Well, isn't that a bummer? Thanks, Pa. Pew, pew. But thanks, Tracy. I like that. I wanted to see what happens there. Well, looks like we're going to help out Ma with the primer anyways. So let's continue our story and continue our adventure. You run up to Ma and offer to help her teach the little ones their letters. She smiles at you and asks to hear your ideas. You tell her you can make it a game, and you could think of objects that start with A, such as adobe or arm, teaching them the alphabet as you go. Such a good sibling. Then see who can go through the whole set of 26 letters, pointing out objects they see. Nice. It's I Spy, Oregon Trail style, alphabetical. And she likes this idea and sets you off to play it. Your younger siblings get into and spend a lot of the next few days playing with you. Very nicely done. Playing with the younger siblings right there. Teaching them that good game of, using the alphabet I Spy action. You're a good sibling. I like it. Well, we've got our next choice, my friends. Do you grow tired of this game along the way, or do you keep your siblings occupied on the way? And that is a question. Do you get tired of it? Or siblings are cool? That is our question. Are we getting tired of it? Or are siblings cool in this case? This will be our next choice in our adventure. And this Choose Your Own Adventure interactive tales of fun. Appreciate you all coming out and playing along with us. This is the fun question that we have for you. Helping Ma out with the primers, you're helping out your younger siblings, and that is going to be the question. And a few days, I get tired out of 15 minutes with my kids, so looks like we are tired of it as well here. Do you go get tired of the game along the way? Nope, apparently we do. I love it, Tracy. Nice. Here we go. Check it out. You grow tired of this game when the others start naming a food they miss from home, such as apple pie and cornbread. Yeah, that would do it too. That would make me a little peeved. All right, so way to ruin it, siblings. You have forgotten about the ball and cup and take it out to show them how it works. You try to get the little attached ball to land inside the cup and succeed after a few tries. They all scramble over to want a turn. This helps occupy them for a little while. You keep your siblings occupied on the way. Turn to page 42. All right, looks like we've keep them occupied, and yeah, time for looks like one more option, my friends. And here we are. Okay, so you have managed to take your younger siblings' minds off the long trip, which makes your parents very thankful for your presence. You aren't sure this will continue for the next 190 miles to reach the next stop. Independence Rock does not sound all that interesting to you. You're tired of rocks, but you must hurry to make this location before July or otherwise face some really terrible weather conditions. Pa says that you have plenty of time and this shouldn't be a problem. He's right. It's only June 15th when you reach this large oval-shaped piece of granite. You notice that some white scrawls all over the face of the rock. When you walk right up to it, you see that they are names of people who have passed by here before you. You rush back to your pa to see if you can do the same. He doesn't see anyone else's name carving their names and tells you so. The wagon master stops by and says there is a stone carver a little way ahead and will carve your name for you. Once you hear it costs $1, you know your pa will not spend that. You ask if you can take the others for a walk around the rock, since it's only an hour to complete the walk. He agrees. All right, do you let others scramble over the rocks, or do you keep everyone on the ground for the walk? That is going to be our question for this, my friends. And this, our choice for our Choose Your Own Adventure. And for our Oregon Trail adventure, which way are we going to go? Do you let the others scramble over the rocks? Or are we going to keep everyone on the ground for this one here? That is the question at hand. And this will be actually our, we're going to transition and, excuse me, coming up as for our virtual interactive fun time, we are going to, actually, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So here we go. Keeping your story going along. Apologize about that. Hey, fun with the first time nights. And loving it. So we're going to keep them safe on the ground. Someone will definitely fall. That is true. So we're going to keep them on the ground for this one and keep our adventure rolling. You know, you have to take a nice stroll along the rock's perimeter as the younger children race against each other and play tag. You try to stay in the shadows as much as possible. And you try to stay in the shadows as much as possible. About halfway through, loving it. Nicely done, Tracy, mitigating that liability. About halfway through the walk, you see a cluster of large bumps on the flatland. Everyone is calling it a prairie. They look like little hills until you realize they are moving. You walk out a ways to get a better view and wish you had those binoculars. They just look like oddly shaped hills with large hump in the middle. You see how shaggy they are and wonder if these are the buffalo you've heard talk about. As you head back to spend some time thinking of all the people who were not able to survive the trip so far, many of the older folk could not handle the long days and temperatures. Small babies were also among those that passed. You think about your little brother and how much he would have liked Independence Rock and seeing those buffalo. The mile goes too quickly and you head back to your family. You think of telling your pa about the animals, but decide against it. You don't feel like such an interesting creature should be killed. Isn't that nice? You continue on the trail. Once everybody is back in the plane, the trail continues. Now you need to make a decision. You could follow a route along the South Pass, which is shorter, or do you need to buy more supplies? If you need more supplies, the route to Fort Bridger is much longer. And this is our decision, and this is where we are going to take our pause for this interactive fun Tales of Fun, our Oregon adventure. I like how our story is shaping up. We are having a fun adventure so far, and we are literally at an impasse. We are at a fork in the road, and what we're going to do is hold on to that fork and bring it to you next time, continue our story coming up in our next virtual, interactive Tales of Fun, choose your own adventure story time. And with that, my friends, I want to say thank you so much for joining us for this adventure. What's going to happen? Are we going to head down south? Are we going to go to Fort Bridger? We'll find out next time. Tune in next time for more interactive Tales of Fun. Appreciate you all coming out. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time for more interactive story time. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Quick little shout out. So much fun on this first one. I want to say thanks, Tracy. You're awesome for joining us. Yeah, I know. I'm invested now in this story. I want to see where it takes us, and keep an eye out for Grange Hall Games for our next interactive story time. Join us next time to see how the story ends. We look forward to seeing you then. Be good. Until next time, everybody.